Hello folks, welcome to another episode of Dan's Auto Diagnostics and Repair. Today we have a 2003 Buell, and customer states that it keeps on blowing fuses. There was a 15 amp fuse in here, and that's to the fuel pump and the ignition. That's one of the fuses. Probably can't see it that good, but it is blown. And we had another one here. It blew. So what I want to do is I'm going to get an amp clamp on here. I put these two wires in. And I got this little setup here where I put the a 20 amp fuse in. It's supposed to be a 15, but I think it just spikes. But we'll see. So I'm gonna get my amp clamp here. Make sure. Yeah, I'm on DC. Just gonna set it here. Turn the bike on. That jumped up to 4. Let's turn that off. Turn it back on. That's about right. Should be about 4 to 5 amps. Let's try to fire it up here. Let's put on our max so we can see what it jumped to. Turn this around. There we go. Had the amperage going in the wrong direction there. Just my ground clamp. Well, there went 8. That's not good. Turn it off. Zero this back out. Try it again. Turn it on. All 4 there. Fired up. Alright, he's telling me under load, this thing keeps on burning that fuse up. And it did burn up one fuse on me. So I know it's getting way over 15. That test showed there almost 10. This thing should only get around 5. It shouldn't be blowing fuses. So I think the next thing I'm going to do, post from putting it in the fuse, and taking the amperage of that whole circuit. This is the fuel tank for this Buell here. The fuel pump is back here. Here's the fuel pump. You can see these wires. So I want to try to get an amp clamp around just those wires. I don't want the whole circuit to be. I don't want to test the amperage of the whole circuit. So I gotta somehow figure out how to get into this wire harness in here get an amp clamp around there and test just the fuel pump amperage, because something else could be overamping in the circuit. I want to test just the fuel pump, just to see, just to rule out anything. If it's the fuel pump overamping like that, then fuel pump's not good. We need a new fuel pump. So let's test that. All right, well, when I was pulling this out, this is what happened. Yeah, that came right out of there. That could be an issue. Came right out of here too, so they may have taped this up because it wasn't staying in there. It definitely, I definitely didn't push any button, no release tab to get it out. Well, let me look further into that. All right, I got my connector de-pinning kit. Plenty of different de-pinners in there. That's a lot. This one looks like it'll work for our application here. Let's see. Yeah, that's on. Now I gotta take out the one that's stuck. It's coming. Yep, there's the guy that broke. That pin's broke. Well, go see if I got another one. See what I got in my little bag of goodies here. I don't think it's going to be in there. Yeah. Got a bunch of cool stuff, but I don't think. Let's see. Well, you know what I do have? I do have something else here. So you'll see what we got in the trusty van here. Oh boy. Try these. Oh boy, everything's falling out. That's what happens. Every time. Gas cans are a little inflated. Drill falls out. Yeah, it's time to clean her up. She's got a lot going on in here. All right, let's get these. The diagnostics table. Lots of cords. You know, I might have to just put connectors on them. I don't know. All right, what do we got here? Come on. Mini fuses. The old school, you know, radio pullers, when you wanted to take that radio out, put these at each side and pull it out. They'd come, you had two. They come with two, and you'd release the tabs on the side. Some old school stuff. Old school fuses. And an old school solder sucker. Yeah. Some Maglite bulbs. Well, just about everything except what we're looking for. Next. One more shot. I think this is about all my cases. I'm not hunting after this. Come on. Oh, that's not at all what I thought it was. It's my Tapcons. Don't know why it's with the electrical stuff. Let's check the van again. I think I got one more box to check. There's some electrical stuff, but no, that's not gonna do it. All right, let me set you down here and go hunting. All right, I got all this stripped back. I took the insulation off here. I just wanted to take a peek. And I have the other end of this connector here. These go back in there. I just depinned it. So what I wanted to do was put these 3 pins back in. I wanted to depin the ground from here and just run it straight here and just bypass the connectors and see how it runs. But I got this far. Well, that's why it came out. It came out really easy. This ain't holding on to it, so we're gonna have to do something about that. All right, so all I did here was I depinned the ground from the connector. I put all these pins back in. They're all tight now. Had a little trouble with the yellow wire, but it's all good. Our positive wire is here. That's where we'll be taking an amp reading. So I'm just going to take a little jumper ground wire to this ground, so we're getting a good ground for sure. We're going to hook up the amp clamp here. Hook that back up to it. We'll take a reading here, and we'll take a reading down here at the fuel pump, isolating everything else. So let's go to, let's do a max reading. We'll turn it on. Be low startup on that, okay. It's fired up. Decent. Let's rev it up. Reset it's not the fuel pump or that ground on the fuel pump that's causing any problems there. There's some kind of spike in the ignition system. That fuse is for the pump and the ignition. So looks like I'm gonna have to do some more searching here. I'll definitely fix that ground so there's no problem there. Looks like the fuel pump's okay. It's not spiking it, but up here when I take the measurement, it's spiking. So I got to figure out what's doing that. It's a few days later. I had some things to do, and the customer told me he wasn't in a real big hurry. But where we left off was checking the amperage on the ignition and the fuel pump. And I had the owner bring me by a manual, and it had some schematic diagrams in there. It's way too small. I had to use a big old magnifying glass to see it. So I won't show you that. But I checked out the ignition circuit. The ignition circuit runs the fuel pump, the fuel injectors, and the coils. So I'm suspecting it's probably going to be somewhere in the coils. Maybe a secondary ignition. Maybe there's a messed up plug wire or something like that. But today we're going to find out. But it's definitely on that ignition circuit, and it's overamping. So we got her back today, and we're going to go ahead and start taking off some covers, and we're going to look into those. Going to try to find out where these spark plugs are in that, and then we'll see what we find. First, I'm going to take off the air box here. Let's see. It's just 4 Torx bits. One there. Well, might need the tripod for this. Another one over here. That loosened up. Okay. Can see a little wire in there. We got to get down to them spark plugs. All right, let's see how to remove the air box. Take this little hose out of there. Some clips here. Another one here. Looks like we got some more Torx here. careful with that one. I want it rolling off of there. A little hose there. Alright, there you go, folks. I got you back on the tripod now so I can use both hands. Gotta try to get this hose out. Disconnect the sensor. Another hose. What we got? Need to get my light. Nothing to stick to. Take the sensor connector off. Set that aside. I'll give you a look at what it looks like down there. Well, this is kind of weird. That's the spark plug wire down in there. Goes to this connector under here. Huh. Wonder if that's an injector. I'm not even sure. I don't see why it would be, but I'm gonna have to see how this thing's designed. But here's a gray wire. That's our gray wire. It's a power. No, that's, yeah, I think that's an injector. I see a spark plug wire down in there. Kind of hard to see it, but right there. So that probably is an injector way down there. It's really difficult to see, but there's our gray wire, which is on the same circuit as the fuel pump. That's our gray wire. Under here, this is our ignition fuse. It's actually supposed to be a 15, but I put a 20 in it just so I can make it from over there. I keep the bike under the house over there, so I just wanted to put a 20 in it so the fuse didn't blow, so I can get it over here to work on it. But it only overamps very quickly and then it goes back down, so I don't think we're gonna hurt anything. All right, let me look more into this and figure out what's what in here. Owner says it's been to 4 shops before me, and I think the last one was, well, when it started this problem, he got the paint job, the nice orange and black, and it looks gorgeous, and it is gorgeous. And since the paint shop, it's been acting up. So they did something. So he took it to 4 shops, and they couldn't figure out why this fuse was blowing and why it was running like this. So we're shop number 5. We'll see what's going on. I was able to get this connector out, and it goes to an O2 sensor. Kind of hard to get to anything in here. Everything is packed in here. But this was an O2 sensor. So that gray wire also controls or powers up the O2 sensors, fuel injectors, coils, ignition stuff, fuel pump. So that's that. Airflow sensor. I think these. Okay, I found the coils. This is what I'm interested in. Right there, there's our coil. And I'm very interested in that. I want to get an amp probe on this wire and see, run it and see if it's over amping from here. Then voltage spikes might be coming out of there, and then we'll have to figure out why. I want to make sure that these coil wires are on good. There's our other coil wire coming off of this coil pack and going down. You can see that one pretty good. Just want to check these wires, make sure there's no secondary ignition coming off of them. See what's happening there. All right, that's what I'm going to investigate right now. I'm back at the manual here, and as you can see, it's very, very small. I don't know if you can see this, but there's the ignition. See, the ignition right here. That's our fuse right here. Here's our wires. Here's the gray. Goes all the way out here. And the page was a little messed up, but you can see it's connected to the data link. There's our gray wire right here for the rear injector. Up here, our gray wire for the front injector. Our gray wire for the fuel pump. And then we have the coil gray wire again. So we were on the right wire, the gray wire. I wasn't getting any amperage, but now we know. We're making sure. So I'm gonna continue with tests here. I'm gonna see what we're putting out on the fuel injectors if we can, and check the coil secondary and make sure we're not getting anything stupid out of there, secondary ignition or anything. So we're going to look at those wires and follow the circuit. Maybe something's pinched somewhere or something. I don't know. Like I said, he said this just started happening after the paint shop guys put the bike all back together. So I'm looking for some kind of pinched wire. These guys are not electricians, they're painters. So when you put it back together, they might have pinched some wire in between the frame or something like that. So that's what we're looking for. But something along that circuit, because that's the fuse that's blowing. All right, we got a little issue with this connector. It slides right out. This little plastic piece is bent out and it won't catch. So I'm gonna throw a little heat on it. Throw a little heat on it, hold it in place like that, let it dry, or let it cool down. Nice and cool. Now you hear that satisfying click. Now it's in there nice. As nice as it's gonna be. It's got a little bit of play, but that's where it catches by the factory. Now you don't want to go trying to bend those back. A lot of people do that and they end up breaking it. If you put a little heat on it, bend it back with a little heat, you'll be fine. Alright. Had a little issue with the ground, so we're gonna fix this. We don't have the end that goes up into there that goes into this, so we're just gonna go ahead and do the crimp deal. Need to go get my torque. Alright. I'll seal them up. We'll let that cool down. Pull that out there. And we're going to put them behind here where they belong. But first, let's see. Might have to. Is that going to go on? Oh boy. I don't want to have to depin them again. Might have to depin them. But I got to put that, I got to slide this over here for these. I'm going to wrap these up in tape and tuck these in the back. Alright, that's the next operation. So I got this all taped up and ready to go with a little connector there. And that I depinned, and then I put everything back together so that I can get this sheathing on here. And I just taped the end of it. So now I'm just gonna tuck them in the back there, hook them together, and be done with that. And there you have it. Sitting in the back there, connected. I also zip tied the connector to the other wire just so it doesn't go anywhere. Got a customer coming in with a boat. I got a wire. Just arrived. I'm gonna go talk to him. All right, we got it, folks. Check this out. I pulled off the wire, both wires from both fuel injectors, the coil wires, mass airflow sensor, everything. So I can pull all these wires out. And looky what I found. See, right here on the fuel injector wire, which makes sense. Boom. Yeah. So every time we revved it up, that would ground out. Now I could probably recreate the situation, but I don't think I need to. I think that's pretty definitive right there. So I'm going to fix that, and we should be good. I looked over all the rest of these wires. Didn't happen. Or nothing, you know, nothing wrong with them. So we got it. That's it. I'm gonna tape it up and wrap it up. I didn't have any more of this wire loom, plastic wire loom, but what I did have is this rubber tape. So I taped it up first, then I put this rubber tape on it. And now I'm going to tape it up again. So that's the fuel injector. That's the one that was rubbing out. And I taped the individual wire up. Then I taped both of them together. Then I rubber taped it. Now I'm going to tape it again. And that should secure those. All right, there we have it. And that's pretty, that's pretty stout. And I hope that's not too stout to go in there comfortably. Oh, we're gonna have to see, but that's definitely not gonna rub out. Well, there she is in all her glory. Time for a test ride. Well, that's it for the Buell, folks. That was the fix. Took her on a test ride. She ran perfect. It's fantastic. Called the customer. He's stoked. He's going to be able to ride it again. But you want any more content like this? You like this content? Or if you have any kind of suggestions as to what I could have done different, something better, or something in the way of maintenance, let me know. I'm ready to learn just like you are. Let's help each other learn. Like and subscribe if you want to see more content. And thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you on the next one.